following. Aquarius background. Aquarius and other information. Says Aquarius findings briefly described below, because it was being, for some reason, Project Aquarius was being looked at very closely at the time. Number one, from what we have found, we believe that it started in 1953 alongside of the Project Blue Book ordeal. Now, 53, let's think, what happened in 53? This is pretty much around the same time, general time frame as the Eisenhower thing, within a year. 53 was also the time when a certain craft dumped in Arizona, as I recall, right near Kingman, involving two P+45J rods and a P+52. The P45 was the one met by Bill Uhouse, and of course the P45 was the P52. I had the great honor. But the theory on the drawing board at this time is that it started as an USAF black project and was overtaken by the intelligence community due to the content and the secrecy. From investigating the past interest of the USAF and UFOs, it seems that the USAF weighed their investigation too much on non-scientific data. This would explain the need for the intelligence community investigation. So we can read between the lines here. Herein, after finding and seeing this, or due to other issues, the intelligence community took Aquarius out of the hands of the USAF. Isn't that funny how these two things coordinate with one another?
Well, what do you... okay, what are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that...
that there was an obvious illusion. There was an obvious allusion here in the testimony to the Honorable Vice Admiral McConnell,
right,
to situations which were going on during the 1950s involving the present relationship between we and the extraterrestrial species. Yeah.
Okay.
There seems to be a rather direct correlation here. And then the fact that later on during the intelligence community interview of Mr. McConnell, there was even an allusion to
same time period.
Well, to timeline changes. Senator Rockefeller. This gives my heart good saying his name. I regret to say that my time has run out, and I think somebody's manipulating this clock, because that much time hasn't gone by. Oh, my heavens. And then a woman walked in who was from another committee, and that would be Susan Collins, I believe. But the fact that there was a manipulation of a clock comment going on, and this, and there are several, well, I've got it tabbed up as to the relationships here, but what I'm trying to, I guess, show the folks is how things are said publicly.
Yes, absolutely. So, but what is interesting is how many in Congress know what's really being said.
Well, the head of the committee here, this committee was chaired by John D. Rockefeller IV, Democrat of West Virginia. And there is
I have no doubt that Rockefeller is in the loop. But
well, I have little doubt that he is in the loop as well, and may have been in the larger loop as opposed to not the Majestic 12 loop. Anyway,
being a member of the Illuminati.
No. There was a larger group that existed between 63 and 67 properly in approximately 2002 called the Committee of the Majority.
Oh, okay. Okay, well then, all right.
I mean, you know, you got people like Rockefeller that can call the war that happened in 1990, what is the Persian Gulf procedure? That's right, he actually called it the Persian Gulf procedure.
Fascinating.
It wasn't a procedure that I was in, but anyway.
Okay, well, we've heard that since then, it's now called, there's 40 members, and it's called, isn't it the PI 40?
That's an old
name?
That's an old name.
That's an old name.
That's an old name for it.
So what you're saying, or what is being said here, is that there is some catastrophic events that have been mitigated to some degree, hopefully, by a certain amount of unity on the planet and a certain amount of effort towards the positive. And I'm assuming
And removal of equipment, yeah.
Okay, but they removed the equipment because the equipment told them to remove it? In other words,
They removed the equipment because the history indicated that the equipment was operating during the time of the catastrophe and was a proximate cause to the catastrophe by increasing the amount of energy into our asthenosphere and causing a global catastrophe.
Well, it's just that. In a sense, the equipment was telling, you know, it's almost like...
well, it was the equipment and it was the
2001.
delegates. It was also the delegates to the treaties and the representatives, including Kaela.
The Orions were saying, hey guys, it's the equipment, shut it down and you'll have better luck?
They were the leading force in that, yes.
Really? Okay, now I'm going to ask you something that may come across a little controversial, but what...
No, we have been talking about such prosaic items all evening.
No, but
I'm not certain I could...
What makes you think that they had our best futures in mind when they told us to turn that equipment off? In other words, why should we believe them?
Well, we should believe them simply because of the possibility and because we're talking about 4.5 billion up to 5 billion people here. All right? Now, let's think about this for a moment. If we leave the equipment in place and nothing happens, so what? What is the harm in removing it?
Right.
Now, that would be the corollary question to the question that you just asked. If they don't have our best interest at heart, how would our removing that equipment prevent the catastrophe that we're hearing about from 3 different cultures, meaning the Orions, the J-Rods, and the J-Rods from earlier times? How would removing that equipment proximate the catastrophe? Only leaving the equipment in place would be the dangerous move. So there's no harm in unloading a gun, but there is a possible harm in having it loaded.
Sure. It's like the joke of believing in God. It's like the Sufi joke about whether you believe in God or not. If you don't believe in God and there is no God, there's no harm. But if you do believe in God and there is a God, it's going to be a good thing in the end, right?
Well, it may take you a few more trips back, but
okay. So,
I don't know. That's up to God.
Right. Well, in a sense, that's what you're saying.
You know, this is an issue of practicality.
Yeah.
You know, if we have a piece of equipment there that could possibly cause us harm, let's say they're wrong and it doesn't. You better pull it apart anyway. We're talking about the consequence of nearly 5 billion people.
Okay. What about
we would be
the
stupid
idea...
not to, in other words.
Okay. What about the natural stargates that still exist on the planet?
What has been heard from my background concerning the natural Stargate issue is what was going on at Frenchman Mountain. And to access that, they were using one of the Stargate devices. They had it hauled out there.
Okay, I mean, for example, Sedona has several vortexes.
Oh, sure, they're all over the place.
Yeah. And there are several natural vortexes, you know, just to create, even a cyclone or a hurricane creates a sort of a vortex.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
Through which certain races can travel in their ships, it is said. Okay?
Okay.
Do you have anything to say about that?
No.
Okay. Those are natural stargates.
Oh, the meaning a portal which does not require hardware?
Sure.
Oh. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, I guess I could probably make some sort of a comment relative Lotus. There's a possibility that the portals that we're seeing during Project Lotus may be micro wormholes, and certainly, at least information is being carried through those portals from somewhere to here, and it's causing an effect in the environment. Now, we're assessing presently to see whether or not they are naturally produced. And in August, owing to certain circumstances, we're planning on running tests out at Frenchman Mountain to determine whether or not it is a natural phenomenon.